Maybe.
Here we go.
Let's do this, boys. Back to the Future.
Oh wow, we're just gonna
Oh,
open up
right
and
into it.
what we're
just
watching.
right into it.
Right
Brothers,
into it.
Sisters, gender sisters, welcome to another riveting podcast brought to you by Joey's Arbitrary List of comic book paraphernalias. Of course, this is the Comic Book Rundown presents Rundown Reviews. I, Chris, the man who's done this introduction. I am Chuck. I'm joined by Joe and by Ron, and we watched. I forgot how much I love this movie. Back to the Future, aka we're gonna fuck some moms in the past, baby. Oh,
This man.
No, not some moms. His own mom.
after body shaming her, I forgot how much body shaming was like chill and funny in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Remember,
you're skinny.
if we could, I would like to throw just for this one movie at the end. We bring a little bit of getting franchised in, and we do Marty McFly. Bad person or justified?
I mean,
So-
he's definitely not a good person.
I mean, he's kind of not a good person in this movie, and I
But
didn't
there
really realize
aren't
that until
any
I watched
good
it.
People in this movie.
Yeah. No. Maybe Jennifer. Maybe Jennifer was like the only good one, but you don't get to see her really the entire movie.
That's
True.
probably why she was the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the more screen time you got, the kind of worse you are as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because George is a pervert.
Which opens up my first
Okay, go ahead.
note here is, why is Doc hanging out with a high schooler? He's
Okay,
like 80.
I have seen this movie plenty of times, and it just dawned on me. The one thing they never explain is why is Marty helping Doc?
Yeah. So
Is it a paradox because Marty goes back in time and talks to Doc, and then therefore goes back to the future to
okay, it actually does get explained in the comic. The comic obviously came out later after the fact, but the comic is based off of I think an idea Robert Zemeckis had, or storyline Zemeckis had after the fact, and I could be thinking of that. I could be mistaking that, but Zemeckis did have a hand in writing the comic, and I believe the comic came out in 2015, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that one.
That sounds about right.
That sounds right, because I think that's about the time that the video game came out too. Isn't
Yes,
it?
Yeah.
one of them.
The Telltales one, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the comic is, I did enjoy the comic, and the comic does fill in a lot of the gaps. One of them being
Like the one between his mom's.
No, but one of them being why Marty and Doc have a relationship. Why they actually is friends. Why they are friends. Another one is actually why Uncle Joey, jailbird Joey, is in prison, and why he stays in prison. Which I can't remember.
Every time we try to take him out, he cries his head off.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know.
No, but why are they friends then?
I don't remember.
Well, what the fuck, Joey?
I really
You just gave us a 4 minute.
I gave a 2 minute. Calm down.
About why.
I give it. I can.
About,
You want me to go over? You want me to go over and grab the comic?
Go ahead. Go. Chuck and I have this while you go figure that out.
All right.
Right off at the beginning of the movie, how is Marty not deaf? He should have been bleeding out of his ears and his nose.
Could not make that make sense.
Should have been like ruptured. Like,
yeah,
he should have just been a puddle.
He should have been absolutely fucking blown to smithereens. That amplified, the amplifier blast, that sonic blast was so strong it destroyed the speaker.
Yeah.
Well, Doc did say that the speaker, there was a problem with it. So
yeah, but that should have ripped the skin off of his body.
Yeah, again, you're not wrong.
It literally threw him across the lab.
And all it did was like knock some papers around. It didn't
Yeah.
launch any of the equipment or anything, but it launched him.
Well, I mean, he is smaller than everything else in there, though. So there is that point.
I did kind of forget how short he is in this movie.
Right.
He's
Like-
crazy short.
I watched through this again, and like, there's a part where he gets into a fight or something, right?
Yeah.
And like he's getting chased by Biff back in the 50s or whatever. And there's no way that he would have been able to outrun anybody because his legs were only like 3 inches long. They would have taken 2 steps and caught him.
Yeah. Not wrong. I mean, yeah. The only thing is that maybe he's faster because they're
Maybe.
bigger guys. I think we should like preface this entire episode by saying the whole movie is a time paradox. Like the fact that past Doc knows that he created time travel creates a whole fucking situation where people at the past are not supposed to know what happens in the future. He makes a big deal that he can't know what's on that letter.
Yeah,
Because he cannot find out. But we've already gone to the past and he finds out that he created time travel. So like the whole situation has to happen.
It's no. It's not a paradox. Marty created a whole new timeline. So when he went back in time
I know you're gonna like Terminator us again for like a billion times.
The Terminator thing, it's legitimate.
This is legit because when he goes back in time and he messes with his parents, when he comes back, literally, when he comes back, that's like his whole like family is different. Their whole
here's the thing.
Everything is different.
There should have been another Marty on that timeline.
There was.
Yeah.
And there is, because that Marty went back in time. And that Marty is now in a time paradox.
Or did that Marty get killed off by Doc, who knew the other Marty was coming back?
Yeah, now that one
actually survived that explosion from the speaker.
Well, no, because he would have
this timeline's Marty.
No. Okay, hold on. Also, I did find out what happened. Apparently, Needles wanted Marty to go steal something from the eccentric Doc Brown, and Marty figured out how to get into Doc's garage. And
wait a second, I think I've read those comics.
We did read them with I was gonna say Kevin, but it's fucking what's his name from Wreck My Podcast. Trigger.
Oh,
that's super fair that you would remember him. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, so when our Marty comes back to the present, to his present, also he's got a time machine and he only wants to go back 10 minutes. Like, what the? You got a time machine. Go back like 30, you idiot. 10 minutes isn't going to do anything. 10 minutes, you're coming back to when you were already here. You were going to run into yourself anyway, but whatever. But yeah, so he comes back and his immediate, like, you've got his old self there. So already he's creating a paradox because he would have been had he ran into his old self, running into his old self. And that we find out in the second one is a problem, air quotes problem. And I gotta use air quotes because it doesn't become a problem in the second one because it happens like 4 different times. We'll get to that one next month. But because Marty has created a new timeline, that's Marty, when he goes back into the past, he is not creating a new timeline because that timeline is now the messed up thing is once he creates a new timeline, he has no reason. But he's been creating a new timeline every time because honestly, he has no reason to be hanging out with Doc though anymore. Not that he really has a reason to be hanging out with Doc to begin with.
Yeah, they could have like actually made that relationship make sense where he's just like an assistant because he wants to get into science.
Or he's
Like,
the assistant because he went back in time already, and Doc knows about him, so Doc seeks
or
him out.
I
And
mean,
lures
maybe,
him in
or
with a
like
pink
he
sneaker.
or Doc was actually going to pay him money. You know what I mean? Like something stupid like
But Doc
that.
didn't
Like,
have money because he was broke because he
used all of
squandered
his fortune on
right.
made the flux capacitor. Let's see. I must
Because he even makes reference to the fact that he's going to go to the future to figure out who won the next 25 World Series.
Yeah,
My assumption would be because we then see that
except it's Biff.
right, but it's Biff, right? Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. So I'm still confused. So then, what happens to the original timeline?
That's gone.
It
Like
just
the
blinked
minute
out of existence.
Well, no,
I
it
mean-
actually doesn't blink like this. It's still there. That timeline is still there. There's just no more Marty in it because Marty never goes back to that timeline.
correct.
Because he can't. Because
Yeah,
once
that's
he
correct.
creates the paradox of going back in time and changing it in 1955, the timeline that he was in, he no longer has access to because he altered his own timeline, which is why his picture never should have showed back up with him and his siblings, because it would have been completely different Marty and them, because the Marty that was there would have not had any memories at all of the original timeline because it never happened.
Yeah.
So that
Which-
Marty should
Yeah,
the picture should have never disappeared because his siblings would have still been in that timeline, just not in the new timeline that they made.
Well, they are though. Like the siblings are still there because
But
when he comes
different-
back,
But they would have never had that. They would have never had that picture because it would have
I
been-
agree. They shouldn't have had that picture because
Because
they
that
had
would
a
have been-
different life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a poor people vacation, not a rich people vacation.
exactly. And they're still living in the same house. Like that was
Yeah.
another thing. Like I feel like if they had a better life, a more essentially a rich people life.
Hold on though, but the Lion Estates looks totally different when he goes back. It's
That's
all cleaned
true.
up and it's totally different. Like
That's true.
All the
it
houses do look a lot
becomes.
nicer.
I think it becomes the rich neighborhood,
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair.
which
Okay.
is what it was actually weirdly what it was intended to be.
Yeah,
Like in 1955, that's what they're trying to do. Outside of making apparently a pine farm that fails, but like so essentially So now I wonder, did he go back in time and actually correct it? Like, are we actually seeing a situation where we essentially picked up where something was messed up, and now that timeline, Marty is going back and unknowingly
And
correcting
maybe
it?
that's why Doc looks for Marty, is because he needs Marty to go back in time to fix something.
But
Interesting.
Doc doesn't though, because again, so in the comics, what we get is Marty finding Doc and just happening upon him, and then Doc taking him under his wing. And I know
Sure.
you,
But why
So-
didn't Doc, put him in jail instead for thievery?
because Doc is Doc. He just doesn't care.
Because Doc had already talked to him and knew who Marty was and expected him eventually in his life.
But he didn't yet.
All right. So, anyways, Strickland, his neck looks like a fucking turtle. Like, I don't know if you guys saw like when he
Turtle.
was. Yes, like it had that like the skin had like the scaly like look to it, and it was all, I don't know. It was just so weird. Every
Ah,
time
look
I
like-
saw that dude's
look like
neck-
Skeletor
Which one was
to me.
Strickland?
the principal.
Oh, is that the guy from Platoon?
No, I don't think so.
No, they're not
He's-
Platoon. What the fuck is that movie?
He's Skeletor
Oh,
from He-Man.
He's
No.
also in Problem Child, I think.
oh,
One
what
of
fucking
them.
movie?
Is
It's
he
not
from
Platoon.
Child?
I'm thinking
I
of.
think it's Problem Child 2, maybe.
No, he plays like a military dude. It's like that. It's a very iconic scene where like the giant like American flags behind him, and he
Yeah,
plays
that's-
Patton.
That's
Patton?
Platoon.
Is that Platoon?
Yeah, that's not him.
okay.
Who is that? I know the scene you're talking about. Platoon. I think it's Platoon. Maybe I'm wrong.
What if you were?
I think I might be. Platoon flag scene.
He was in Top Gun.
I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong on that one.
No, it's Patton. It's Patton.
Oh, okay.
That's the movie. Played
This guy was in
by
Top Gun, though.
George R. Strait. No, not the same guy. Oh, not even close. I don't know how I screwed that one up. Okay. Anyway.
No, because I think what you're thinking of is he is the general in Top Gun, the one that like is in charge of.
Yeah, maybe, but
Cruise.
I haven't seen Top Gun, and so like maybe ever.
But you have seen it.
I think I watched it when I
He
was
was
a
also
kid.
in Dick Tracy, apparently.
Wait, was he?
Yeah.
Was he one of the officers?
I'll tell you in a moment. He was Numbers.
He was Numbers?
He was Numbers.
Okay.
That's fun. I didn't know that.
Neither did I. Cool. We're just collecting. I mean, again, he was also in He-Man, so that's like the third movie that we've seen him in. Right? He wasn't He-Man, right? He was Skeletor, right? I'm not
checking right now. Let's see.
Speaking of finding things in this movie, so I was always under the impression that they make the first one and the second one, and then the third one kind of was like not actually greenlit yet or something. Like they had only planned on making two, and then they were going to do three.
No, they did two and three back to back. At least I think
really?
At least I think they did, because I remember them. I remember when I watched the second one, they already had the trailer for the third one at the end of the second one. Now,
I do remember that.
And I don't know if that was only because I watched it on VHS and the trailer was already there.
I mean, they were made a year apart. They were made in 1989 and 1990.
So yeah, and that could also be. So chances are they probably were made back to back. Actually, that's actually a really, really good chance they were probably made back to back.
Interesting. Because I know that there are little things in this that are actually like Easter eggs for things that are coming. One of them, which I did not know until now, Doc Brown uses a revolver in this, which is hilariously, revolvers don't jam. That's kind of the whole point of a revolver.
I don't think it jammed. I don't think he had it loaded.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that would make sense. But that gun is in part 3. The revolver is in part 3.
Is it the same revolver?
Yeah, it's the same revolver. Yeah. Okay. I'm almost positive that it's the same gun from the third one.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional, actually, or what, or it was just something that they,
Well, and I'm wondering if they made this one first, and when they did the ending, they probably had like, okay, let's leave it open ended. Like the story is complete, but hey, let's just put it out there as we could have another one. Let's see what the buzz is. Let's see if this is a hit, and then go from there.
It does kind of feel like Doc coming back all of a sudden was like added on as almost like, I'm not saying like it was a sense of like they were waiting to see if they would get greenlit for a sequel, but like more like an afterthought or something. Not an afterthought, but like that end scene kind of lifts right up out.
Which it does, because that end scene literally is the beginning of 2.
Right.
Like the minute he opens up the garage door, it's the start of the second movie.
Right. I also definitely remember the movie ending with Doc dancing down the street in 1955. I, for whatever reason, don't remember.
Okay. I actually remember that also.
And that's the end of the second movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay.
Because that's when Marty comes running around the corner and he's like, Doc, we need and then Doc is all freaking out because like I just sent you back. So yeah, that's the end of the second movie.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, that makes more sense.
Marty's brother,
Dave,
is
also David. Yeah,
is also Jimmy from Superman, isn't he?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong.
So I know Jennifer changes actresses between
Correct.
And
one
so
and
does his
two.
dad.
Yeah, Crispin Glover is not in the next one.
But do they change Jenny from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie?
Holy crap! It is. No, it's the same Jennifer in the whole first movie
Oh, she just looks so different at the end that it
because you don't
wasn't.
see her the entire time.
I know, but and like obviously she also would have changed a little bit because of the wealth probably that Marty was spending on her would be my guess.
She has better
Yeah.
makeup now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
better
is.
hair and
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
Mark McClure. I didn't realize that.
And Billy Zane is Match.
Yes, Billy Zane is in this. I knew that from the, which is awesome. I did that. I don't know if he's in the third one though. I don't know if he's part of Biff's gang in the third movie or not.
fun.
I'm sorry, Buford's gang in the third movie.
He's
I
in
don't-
number 1, and yeah, he's in all 3 of them. He's in 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Well, that makes sense because like Titanic hadn't happened yet, so
Yeah. Well.
he's in Titanic, right? Yeah, he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Titanic.
Is he in? He's not in Karate Kid though, right? I got the wrong guy.
Billy Zane.
Yeah.
I mean, we just saw him in Phantom, which was it what 96, 95, 96?
96. And
So-
Titanic was 97.
Yeah, Billy Zane. Billy
Oh,
Zane's
shit.
in
Billy Zane was in
Karate Kid.
Tombstone. I forgot about that.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's a great movie.
And Zoolander.
Oh really?
Both Zoolanders, yeah.
I think he plays himself, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Billy Zane kind of like the one of the better didn't I don't recognize him but I recognize him guys. He's in like a lot of things that you don't realize it's him until somebody points it out.
Yeah, he was in the Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, too.
We should watch Bordello of Blood.
I mean, we got October coming up.
Apparently, he was in the second Avatar movie, The Way of Water.
Okay.
Oh, I had no idea.
I don't know. I haven't seen either one of them, so
I didn't watch.
I've only
the
seen the first one, and didn't want to watch the second one. So.
I don't play. The only Avatar thing I ever do is the Flight of Passage at Disney World because that's fucking amazing.
The only Avatar I fuck with is the actual Avatar, The Last Airbender, because that's cool. Oh.
You ever play the role playing game? They have a role playing game for it. It's really good.
Actually, I have the book. I have not played it yet, but
It's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
dice pooling, but I don't mind it for a mechanic. Anyway, other notes.
oh, I've got a lot of notes.
I was mistaken. It wasn't Zemeckis. It was Bob Gale that was his co-creator and screenwriter for the comic.
Fucking Bob Gale, am I right?
Anyway,
So when Doc is explaining to
he helped
Marty
write
how
the show.
Gotcha. When he's explaining to Marty how the time machine works, and he punches in December 25th of 0000, and he's like, "We could go see the birth of Christ." No, you really couldn't.
I mean, you
He would
could.
have been,
You
no,
just
he would have been in Twin Pine, whatever the hell, Hill Valley. In the year.
zero. But
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, you'd have to then find a way over to Jerusalem, but
But
you'd still be also at the same time though.
non-existent things is what I'm trying to say.
But also at the same time, I think it's also been not scientifically fact checked that Christ may not have been born in December. That's just the date that they picked.
Yeah, they picked the pagan holiday and they, covered it up with, crosses.
Yeah, almost like every single Christian holiday falls right around a pagan
Another
holiday.
pagan holiday, yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Weird.
Easter and
Weird.
Anyways, when the time machine comes back with Einstein in it,
Mhm.
the first time it travels through time, and it is covered in ice, and he touches it and says, "Is it hot?"
So,
It's covered in ice.
well, ice can be
Cold.
It could
Only
be dry
cold.
ice and burn you.
Yes, it will burn you, but it's burning you from cold and chemicals, not from.
What's really funny is that because obviously it's the first time Doc even tested this experiment, that he's standing in the way of the DeLorean coming at him.
Yeah,
he's so confident that it's going to work,
and Marty keeps trying to step to the side.
Yep,
Like,
but just the confidence
but
that hey, it's going to work. It's
because
work.
Marty already came back in time and told him that he created a time.
Anyway, that's not how that works. Because he had though, because he didn't have. So look, when we get to our kill count, that Doc dies. That Doc is dead because that timeline happened. He's dead. Just saying. Anyway.
Oh man. I do have to say that it's pretty cool that the Libyans, Libyans, yeah, they were
the librarians,
the librarians, yeah, they were driving that sweet VW bus, like that was pretty bitchin'.
Yeah. This movie, I forgot how weirdly racist this movie was.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about racism? Let's talk about how white men create all black music.
Yeah, and how a black man will never be mayor.
Yeah.
It's the covert racism that I really enjoyed in this movie. The idea that a black man would be mayor was just like preposterous.
I mean, that was 1955, so.
Oh, I don't disagree, but yeah.
I'm just happy. I'm just happy they called him a black man and not.
Well, he did say colored. I think he said
that's
colored.
not the word that I would be worried about.
Well, yes, but he did say colored man. He didn't say black.
True.
But what I'm really impressed by is that he actually let him be out front to be seen. If we're being honest, just saying.
Well, yeah, he had to clean the floor somehow.
Yeah, but he let him walk around and talk to people. Just, I mean, come on. Although, also, so speaking of the band, so they had the Marvin, he sliced up his hand, so Marty had to take over playing the guitar, which I guess it's really good that he was able to play the guitar. But as he's playing the guitar, he's disappearing, and the band's still playing. So first off, why do they need a replacement for the guitar anyway? But secondly, he's disappearing, and I will get back to him disappearing in a second. But he's disappearing in front of the piano player, and the piano player is asking, "Hey, man, are you okay?" And he's like, whatever." But the piano player is watching him disappear.
But what if Marty was only disappearing in his own mind?
But we saw his hand.
We saw him
John Cena. I'm not gonna play the clip just in case I have to, pull the audio from everybody separately.
Oh, it's super fair. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
But I mean, I just found that funny because everybody's dancing on the floor, dance floor, not paying attention. Everybody on the stage is singing and playing the music instruments like they're supposed to, but the piano player is just staring at Marty as he is falling on the bass or the amp, not playing his guitar, disappearing in front of him, and he's just like, "Yeah, this is normal. This is fine." And then when George and Lorraine kiss, Marty gets up, starts strumming the guitar, and he's all fine and dandy. And then the song's over with, and Marvin's just like, "Man, you're really good. Let's play another song." He played like 3 chords. What do you mean he's really good? He didn't do shit.
Back in the day, that was really good. That's 3 chords is all Elvis knew.
No, 3 chords total, not 3 chords for a song, and that's it. 3 chords total.
3 chords total.
Not over and over again. Not repeating 3 chords. He played 1 chord, disappeared, then played 2 more chords. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he was playing before that.
You get what I'm saying. Shut up.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But still, I mean, like I said, At that point in time, if you could play 3 chords, you were a star.
That you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you bust out 3 blind mice, man. You were swimming in puss. It was ridiculous.
Or
Yes,
punch out
see how
Biff,
they
I
run,
guess.
man. Oh.
Um,
So when he shows up in the past in the DeLorean and he's in that barn,
yeah.
and he opens up the door and like they start shooting at it, right?
Yeah.
The farmer or whatever. That dude was like at least 50 paces away from him when we started unloading. Either that dude's got the strongest shotgun they ever made, they've got the weakest barn doors that ever existed, or somebody didn't know how a shotgun works when they filmed that part of the movie, because there's no way it would have been blowing holes in the side of the building, in the side of the barn like that.
Could be a combination of all of it. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, the dude is trying to breed pine trees. Like he's definitely gonna have like probably some powerful shotguns because he's crazy.
That doesn't make the shotguns more powerful, Joey.
No, I mean he's gonna have some like he's gonna be one of those like lunatics that's gonna have powerful shotguns because he thinks people are out to get him. Okay.
You do know that you can breed pine trees, right?
Yeah, no, I know that.
Okay.
Like I do know that. But...
Okay. See, I also feel like the people that made this movie didn't know how botany works either. So
in 1985, probably not.
I haven't said this yet, but I feel like it does need to be said. Leah Thompson could have gotten it in this movie.
I mean, she can still get it to this day. She's still
Is
very,
she? I haven't seen
very
her
attractive.
recently.
Oh yeah,
Hold
she's
on a second.
still hot.
I have to look her
I
up.
mean, we watched her in that. We saw her in Howard the Duck. She's
That was a
still
year
fine.
later, Joey.
Was
That's
it only-
literally the year
Holy
after
crap!
this
That
movie
was
comes out.
86, wasn't it? Holy
Yeah.
Yeah, just because we watched it 4 years ago, Joey, doesn't mean that's when it came out.
No, I thought that was like closer to the 90s. I really thought I didn't think that was in the 80s. Shit.
Oh damn. Yeah, for a 64-year-old lady, she's not bad looking at all.
Yeah, she's done very well for herself. Good
Yeah.
for her. God bless.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's
God bless her.
yeah. Although,
So,
speaking of that though, like, so why put the unconscious attractive teenage boy in your attractive teenage daughter's room? Don't get that.
Because they thought she was a good girl.
And yet you let her go up to.
She was horny on Maine for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
Like for sure. It was psychotic how like in front of her parents being that horny.
Right. And the fact
Yeah.
that they just did not see it at all.
Yeah,
Well,
didn't
I mean,
even see it.
her dad didn't pay attention to anything though.
Well,
so,
true.
like,
That's true. TV was on.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, why was his plan to take advantage of his mom? Why was that his plan for the night? Like, who looks at their mom younger and like, man, I want to kind of. The plan's got to involve me groping her at least, because
I know you guys have seen it because I think it's been shared in the boys chat. But I think it's like a Funny or Die skit, or it's a I can't remember what skit it is, but it's Marty taking advantage of his mom, and he bangs her, and then he tells Doc about it, and then they go like they send Marty back in time, and then he has a 3-way with
I've
his
seen
mom.
it.
Yeah, it's just like, huh, okay. It's fun. I love that. It's hilarious.
Also, going back to Marty playing the guitar, he was not a good guitarist.
No.
Like, even when he was playing with his band, he is so not in harmony with the rest of the band, and it is god awful to listen to.
What are we talking about? Huey Lewis was he loved hearing his own song.
What? No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like them playing the Huey Lewis part was fine. When Marty was playing was terrible because he was not playing the same song that everybody else was playing.
It's fine.
Anyways,
Thankfully, that's the only time we ever have to listen to it. So,
why is one
Do
of
you like
Biff's
Huey
goons-
Lewis in the news?
no, I just thought it was actually kind of cool that Huey Lewis was one of the judges, in that scene.
and still shot down his own song.
Yeah, exactly.
Was he the one who stood up and?
Yeah, he was the one on the megaphone. Yeah.
Okay, so that clip. Sorry, you're just too darn loud. Next, please.
Yeah.
That is in the opening of an EP by a band called Neck Deep, and I had no idea that. I don't know why I don't remember it, but I didn't remember it. So when I heard that, I thought my music was also playing over top of the movie and was very fucking confused. And then also, what are you looking at, Butthead? Again, never clicked with me that this was. So this movie is like ingrained in like specifically my pop punk culture more so than I ever realized.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
Yeah. So
why is Biff's buddy always wearing 3D glasses?
his name is 3D, so that's probably why.
Okay.
I think that technology had just come out.
It was the
That was like a thing you
That
did
was the
was you
50s,
wore
yeah.
your you wore your 3D glasses because it was cool.
Because that showed you had enough money to go to the movies.
Yeah, you had 2 nickels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, when Marty goes back to the future, well, to the present, I guess, technically, from like when he sets the time machine 10 minutes back,
Yeah.
he shows up a minute earlier than what he had the machine set for. Because he has it set for like 9 or 10:04 or something like that, or whatever it was, and he shows up and the clock switches from 3 to 4 after he got out of the DeLorean.
Okay.
And I'm just like, wow, they didn't even do that right. Like,
Again, he should have showed up like a half hour before, but
yeah.
they
But
got
also,
build that suspense.
when he was trying to get the DeLorean started, like when it died on him, when he was supposed, he would have flooded that engine and never gotten it to start as much as he was pumping the gas in that.
Right. It's a stick. Like what are you doing, dude? Like
Yeah.
DeLoreans are sticks.
Yeah,
He
you know,
also
My brother had
crashed
one
it into
that
a
couldn't
fucking
drive.
building.
Right.
And
Yeah.
nobody questioned that, and apparently it was totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
just a
no.
building, like an old school concrete building. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it was the front doors. That was
but more
boarded up.
importantly, Joey's
like
brother had a
brick.
DeLorean, and that piece of shit wouldn't let anybody drive it.
I think he let my older brother drive it. He wouldn't
Okay.
let
Fuck
me
you,
drive
Tommy.
it.
Fuck you, Tommy.
fuck you, Tommy. Fuck you for owning one. Okay. It's like I love and hate this movie because I
I got to sit in it once.
I love the
I took my
DMC
picture of the
DeLorean.
hood.
I think it's fucking awesome. Like I think
Yeah.
not even this movie. I think it is a cool, like it just looks fucking dope. It is like a capsule of what the 80s thought the future was going to look like.
Yes.
And I think that it just encapsulates like the dope futuristic vibe of like what the 80s were supposed to be. But this fucking movie then ruined it because every time somebody asks me like, what's your favorite car? I'm like, it's the DMC DeLorean. And they're always like, oh, because you're back to the future?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to try to go back in time with it too?
Hey, but have you ever
there's-
called your hardware store and asked them if they had a flux capacitor, or your auto parts store? I
No,
used to
because
do
I'm
that
not a
shit.
piece of shit.
Because I thought it was funny as hell. I had a
Dude.
friend that worked there,
I think
and
you do it to me all the time.
yeah,
Okay, that tracks. There's an episode of American Dad where Stan is building a DeLorean because of the same reason. He loves the DeLorean. He loves the way it is. Steve thinks it's because of Back to the Future. He's like, no, I just love that design. I love that car. And then, like, as for whatever reason, he needs like the left gull wing door. That's the only thing he needs left to finish out the car. And he's racing another guy who's actually needs the door because he's a Back to the Future fan.
Yeah.
Like they're racing to go buy it. Oh, it's a fun episode.
And
I
they
want to
hit
say it's like
88 miles per hour and they both disappear.
but they hit 88 miles per hour, and then Stan's like, no, that's about as fast as it can go. This car actually isn't really good at gas mileage or something like that. I want to say it's like season 5 or 6. I don't know. It's early-ish.
Yeah, I didn't watch enough of
American Dad's great, man.
American Dad.
I love American Dad. So
my only other note that I have is that Jennifer was way too calm for Doc just appearing out of nowhere. And
well, he didn't appear out of nowhere. He can't, like, you hear it, and then he comes driving up, crashing into the trash can. It's not that he appeared out of nowhere.
She was so chill.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
I guess. I don't know.
Now the weird part, and we get a little bit more of that in the second movie, obviously, is when it lifts up and then flies. That's when she starts freaking out. But
she doesn't.
Well, she gets. I'm not freaking out per se, as much as. I mean, we'll get to it, but
yeah, but hear me out though. Like in their town, Doc Brown has a reputation of being a psychopath. Like he is
in the old timeline. We don't know what he is in this new timeline. Well, we will in the next movie. Because in the next one, I think he's actually more of a actual scientific genius. When we see the paper.
But also, do you think Marty would have actually ended up with Jennifer if he would have had a lot of money and
I mean, I don't know. Again, that's some of the bad things about this new timeline is things just magically are okay, especially with the Jennifer stuff, because you just assume, yeah, hey, Marty, this is the same Marty that we left, that we follow, but like he's just assuming Jennifer's the same, even though the rest of the world around him has changed.
True. Also, his brother's name would have been Marty when he came back.
Exactly. I actually have that in my notes. Like because Lorraine's like, Marty, oh, such a nice name. Let's wait till our third kid's a name to use that.
Yeah. Because we're definitely gonna have more than one kid for certain, you know. And we'll just wait. Maybe that one, maybe the first one she was gonna name him Marty, and she's like, nah, he doesn't look like Marty. So.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a Marty. He looks like a David. He'll be bald at some point in time. Yeah. Although, and also speaking of David, like, why is it that David and what was his sister's name? Julie? Is that right?
Sure, I don't know.
Linda. Sorry, Linda. Why is it when they disappeared, like it was just pieces at first, but Marty, it was the whole thing all at once? I mean, obviously,
yeah, because Doc makes a comment. Whoever did this picture didn't do a very good job because they cut his hair off.
Correct. And then next time you see his head gone, and like his hand gone, and then Linda, it's like half her body. But then when Marty is disappearing, it's literally just him fading out, similar to the tombstone when we get to in 3. But wouldn't Marty have been the first one to disappear because he was the last one born?
Yeah.
Like it should have been in reverse.
Yes, agreed.
So, I mean, again, I know for the plot,
unless it was going from point of origin and the timeline was being eaten away in this direction.
But that doesn't make any sense either. It should have been eaten from like the latest point. It's the Loki effect. You gets eaten from the latest backwards, right?
Unless it gets eaten from the point where the time variant happens.
Yeah, and then it
goes
destroyed forwards. Sure, but I mean,
in which case,
either would work.
In which case, you know, that timeline would no longer exist at all.
I always eat it from the back.
Attaboy.
But then if that's the case, then Marty should not exist at all.
Agreed.
This Marty should not exist at all. But the fact that he does exist and that the picture exists means that timeline exists.
Yeah, that's true. And that means that in that timeline, there is no longer a Marty.
Correct.
And Doc Brown, if he did survive that shooting,
which he
is
didn't.
responsible for Marty disappearing.
That is correct, but he did not survive. He got shot with like 8 bullets. That motherfucker's dead.
And because the Libyans were well known for that, America went to war with Libya over that because they probably have some kind of precious resource we need, and that was the excuse we needed to attack.
Well, I mean, they contracted Doc to build a bomb, so yeah, like that plutonium was literally just sitting there. So like,
right?
They shot up Doc. They picked up themselves after they ran into the photo booth, and I was like, well, we got a dog now. And plutonium.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta be honest. Doc, kind of a terrorist, right?
100%.
This one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, new timeline Doc will come to find out he's a local hero. I guess.
We'll see. I mean, when you know you can play with the timeline, yeah, you're gonna do whatever you can be. It makes you wonder how many times Doc actually has traveled through time just to.
I mean, look, there's a reason why Rick Sanchez and Rick and Morty is a jackass. Like, he's based off of Doc Brown.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because the guy that voiced him was also a jackass.
Well, that too.
Yeah, he was not a good person.
No, God, no. He is not. Was not.
Have you watched the newest season after the whole like?
Oh yeah, like the new one. I mean, I know the latest season just started. At time of recording, it just started. Time of release, it's like half over. So this is the second
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, they got like 3 more seasons.
They were contracted long before all that happened for like 10 seasons or something.
Yeah, I think they're on season 8 currently. Season 7
they're trying to fulfill their contract.
Was the first one with the new voice actors, and it was fine. Like, it wasn't. They wrapped up storylines from that they started back in like seasons 2 and 3, and it was like them wrapping it up. Like, it was satisfying, but now they're at the point of like, okay, now what are you gonna do? Like, now that you've wrapped up those storylines, I'm still gonna watch because I like the characters, but nothing's really.
They're just gonna probably monster of the week it for the rest of the.
Yeah. I never got into Rick and Morty anyway, so I don't know. But
it's a fun.
That's weird because I think you would have loved it. It is so intricately written, like the figuring out like what Morty is throughout all of it is super. I really loved it up until I think I watched. It was, I guess, the first 3 seasons was like really good.
The first 3 were like solid.
Yeah, really well put together, really well thought out.
And it starts once the whole Justin Roiland thing starts to like unfold. It starts to get like, oh, now they were starting to get a little interesting behind the scenes stuff, and then obviously all the stuff with Rick and Morty and the world building. They stopped doing the overworld stuff and only kind of did like 1 episode per season with the big world building. And then like this past season, they wrapped up a lot of that. And then this new season, like I said, 1 episode in, the season premiere was fine. Like it felt, Chris, your good friend Chuck.
Oh, my best friend.
Your best
so
friend.
You haven't even mentioned this show.
I know. He had stated that this first episode of this new season felt more like a middle of the season episode, which I'm like, yeah, it kind of did. It felt like, I don't know. So I don't know. It
But you know what you do know?
You know what I what else do I know? I know Marty is going. Oh yeah, New Future. I said that. Doc's face is very shocked. Yeah, that worked. Oh, I said that the DeLorean could never be street legal ever because every time they go into the time stream, that license plate always falls off.
Yeah.
So can never be street legal.
Out of time.
every time. Oh, very beginning. I know we're way past that. We're basically done with it all. But that can opener, the very beginning of the movie, no can opener ever worked that good. Ever.
No shit.
Ever.
Also, could you imagine how bad it would smell inside of there with
100%.
that dog food just piling up in there for
that was gross.
who knows how long?
A week, like as much as it was in there, weeks.
And the toast continuously being burnt.
The fact that garage did not burn down with that toast in there.
That's what I was going to say. The toast would have eventually lit on fire. Like toast will burn.
Also, how setting all the clocks 25 minutes or setting all the clocks back 25 minutes is an experiment. That's not an experiment. That's just setting your clocks back 25 minutes. I don't get.
His experiment was, will Marty still be late if I set all the times?
I mean, maybe. And then how Marty didn't realize that he was late, even though he had a watch on.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. Oh, the one thing I never noticed before, but I noticed this time around, was on the marquee, on the movie marquee in the back, said Orgy American Style on it, the movie that was being played. I just never noticed it before.
Me
neither.
Yeah, it was like a dirty theater.
Yeah, I never noticed it before.
But when he goes back, it's not.
No, it is. There is one because he crashed into
next
the church.
to it, though.
No, he crashed into the church on the other side of the street.
Oh,
so he crashed into the church, the one side. The movie theater is on all the way on the other side.
But I think what Chuck was saying was when he was in the past, the movie theater wasn't a dirty movie theater. It was just a regular movie theater.
Correct. Yes.
Interesting. But it became a church?
No.
Wasn't the Assembly of Christ the movie theater in the past?
Maybe I thought that
because it had the marquee. And then there was next to it was the X-rated something, whether it was a strip club or something.
I thought I saw both there, and when he came back to the president, I thought I saw both there. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah, because he crashes into the Assembly of Christ.
Yeah.
But
I thought I still saw when he went running past the I can't remember the guy sleeping on the bench. Because he shows up again.
His name's Frank.
Was it Frank?
I don't know what. Yeah, I think it was Frank.
Because I know he shows up again in the second one.
He says, "Frank, you're looking great."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought when he runs past him, you see the X-rated theater in the distance. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay.
Well, see, that Frank was actually supposed to be Frank Castle, and
you know what? So I just saw today on scrolling through Instagram. Apparently, in Pearl Harbor, the movie Pearl Harbor, Michael Bay edited in John McClane from Die Hard into Pearl Harbor.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Where?
Because he could. It's one of the scenes where Jennifer Connelly is not Jennifer Connelly. Electra. What's Electra's name?
Jennifer Garner.
Thank you. Jennifer Garner is like having trouble with like all the people are coming in after the bombings. I think after the bombing or the news reports coming in, and she's like having a terrible time like processing everything, and you just see John McClane in the background just walking behind her. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's everything I got. Everything you got? You got everything?
Yeah, I've covered all my notes.
Chuck, you got anything else?
No, we talked about the mom fucking. That's pretty much it. His dad's super creepy.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about him.
About Willard?
Yeah.
Yes, he is Willard. I thought he was.
Yeah, there was a I feel like the reason why he wasn't in the second movie was because he was like creepy or something. And I didn't look at any of the IMDb stuff because
Because we knew we were going to spend 40 minutes talking about time paradoxes.
Well, no, I knew there was going to be a crap ton because this is the 40th anniversary. This is one of the movies that everybody like. So there are movies that get preserved for time. This is a movie that people have. This is a movie that gets re-released over and over and over again. It is a classic. People have multiple copies of this. I mean,
I don't even have a copy of it, so that's where you're wrong. Jess has our copies.
Oh, see,
I have a copy of this. I got it when the Blu-ray came out.
And you were bitching at me because you had to pay $3.79.
I don't have a way. I don't have a way to play them.
Player. I know.
Why do you have DVDs without a DVD player, Chuck?
I had a PS4, and then I got. I don't, and I wasn't gonna set it up. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But because of that, and like this is a movie that people still will have watch parties for. People will have meetups. Like there are conventions with this movie surrounding this movie. So
there's always at least one fucking DeLorean at every comic convention.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So like this is a movie that there's information out there. There are multiple documentaries out there. So I knew that even attempting to look up information on IMDb was just going to be taking me all day. So just go watch a documentary. There's multiple out there. I think actually when I got done watching this on my on Prime, there was a documentary that came out in 2015 called Back in Time. It's like an hour and a half long. I
remember that.
Yeah, there's another one.
I remember that too.
There's another one.
They're talking about because that was the year that this was all supposed to be taking place in the future.
Yeah,
and
that was
nowhere near.
God, no. There's also the movies that made us. They did an episode about this, and I gotta call them out because I had the guy from The Cell, the guy who did movies that made us on A Walk Through the Multiverse. So
nice
little shout out for that.
What's his name?
Brian Von shit. What was his name?
Brian Von Shit.
Nope,
dude, that's a gross name.
Are you kidding me? That's a freaking great name.
Brian Von Weiss. Brian Von Weiss. Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say Brian Von Shit is like Victor Von Doom. We know you're a bad guy. Like.
Anyway, but no, this is a great movie, guys. Like, I love this movie.
I forgot how much I liked this movie.
I still enjoyed it, but I liked it less this time than watching it.
Okay.
I think it's because of all the shit that doesn't make sense in it and like that doesn't like add up as the story goes along.
Well, and the other thing is
also I remember the second movie is the one that I hate the most, I think.
So
wow.
So here's the funny thing, and I mean I'll say this now. Growing up, when I would watch these, I would always watch all three of them. Usually.
Of course, you have to. Yeah.
And the second one was always my least favorite. Now, over the years, I have come to appreciate the second one a lot more. The third one was always my favorite for whatever reason.
Why the second one is Chuck's favorite? Because Leah Thompson has rock hard.
Yeah,
yeah, duh. I also just I thought the hoverboard was cool. I thought the Jaws 18 was cool. You know what I mean? Everything for the future. And he jumps off the building and he comes back up on the fucking DeLorean. That's the coolest shit ever to me.
I think when I was younger, what really made the second one I think I didn't like the second one as much was because they go to the future, awesome, and then they come back to a broken timeline. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then they go back to the past again. I'm like, they go to 3 different timelines. Why?
Yep.
When I was younger, it didn't make sense to me.
I think it just annoyed me as a little kid.
As I got older, I appreciate the story more because I understand the storytelling more. So,
I mean, we'll see. Because this is the first time I've watched this movie in I think 15 years. I think was it. Okay. I think I watched it when the kids were little, and I think that's
it's been maybe 5 years since I've seen the trilogy again. So it hasn't been too long for me. But again, I love these movies. But I mean, we're about that time, so why don't we go ahead?
How many people died in this movie?
That'd be one.
Just one?
technically I could count the Libyans, but they just crashed. I don't know if they knocked themselves out or if that rocket like blew them up. So I could count them as a maybe, but just one with Doc getting killed off in the past or in the other timeline. So
Technically, his brother and sister died too,
nope, that timeline came back.
but they died before the timeline came back.
We
'Cause
didn't see them die.
Yeah, we did. We saw them disappear from the.
We saw them
pictures,
disappear.
which
That's
means that
no
they didn't
different.
exist.
That's no different than Thanos snapping people away. They came back. Actually, I would count them
It was
dead.
still
but
one
that's
kill
not-
though.
All right, so yeah, that's still one kill.
That's true.
So
There's one
So it'd be
kill.
2 kills then. It'd be Doc and then them.
fine, I'll give you that one.
No, that's how that works. Yeah.
Look, I gave it. I have it written down. 2, fine,
Yeah.
2. Bingo. What you got?
All right, so product placement. Lots of product placement. So much fucking product placement.
Do
me a
you
tab.
remember Pepsi Free?
Vaguely.
Okay, so Pepsi Free was that was the non-colored Pepsi, right? No, that's Pepsi Crystal.
No, that was Crystal Pepsi.
That's Crystal.
Yeah.
I think it was like the non-caffeine.
Was this the diet one before, or no? This is sugar-free Pepsi.
Yeah, I did like. Yeah,
It was the sugar-free Pepsi before they like.
Before it was Diet Pepsi before Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember it at all.
But then we also had product placement. We have
and
Meme
a little more
Origin,
product.
Dying Mentor, Origin Flashback, Animal Cruelty, Unexplainable Science, Reformed Bad Guy, Sexual Innuendo, Misogyny, and Fight for Control of Something.
All right.
We didn't just have product placement; we had brand integration. Like,
Yeah.
the DMC DeLorean is the crux of this entire movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the classic, story is that they were going to use a fridge originally, but they didn't want kids to get stuck in
Lock
a fridge.
themselves in.
Yeah, so that's why they did DeLorean.
And then it turns out you can survive a nuclear explosion inside of a
Yeah.
fridge. So,
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually.
oh God, we will.
Eventually, not this year.
What do we got for the spawn cape there, Chuck?
Oh, okay. So, man, do I remember this looking better? Well, you know what I forgot? Marty would have been lit on fire. He was literally standing on the flames.
Yeah.
That's how bad. That's how bad the green screen in this was. But then, like, stuff like when the DeLorean's like gas like hitting 88 and the sparks and everything kind of like start going, I think that looks cool. I know a lot of the actual like DeLorean stuff. I know when they're chasing each other around, when like Marty goes back and he's watching himself be chased by the van. That was all like RC car stuff.
Nice.
And it was like actually like a small scale thing. It was like an RC car that they drove around.
Yeah, you could tell because the guys in the car don't move at all.
The guys don't move at all. Also famously, they're the DMC DeLorean when Einstein is driving it, I believe is a guy in a dog suit. If I'm not mistaken.
I love it.
I believe I had seen that in one of the documentaries. But man, the stuff, I mean, most of it's practical and it looks great, but the Marty lit on fire, literally standing on the fire, gets me every time. I'm gonna say 17 out of 3,500. Somebody do the math on that one. See what that lands us. Doesn't look great, but in the grand scheme of 1 to a gajillion, it's pretty close. So,
Good enough.
yeah. Everything else looks great. Although I will say, when he goes tonight, we talked about the barn. That barn would have exploded when the car would have gone through that barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Should have. Yeah, that
That
hate
would
would
not
not
have
have stopped
survived.
it.
Also, the DeLorean doesn't get a goddamn scratch on it anytime.
It's stainless steel, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
calling bullshit. I'm calling
I mean,
bullshit.
yeah, 100%. It would have been.
I've taken a steel wool to stainless steel enough. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
like you can scratch it up.
Oh yeah, you can.
Ridiculous.
So not
All
a
right.
Muppet. Obviously, my vote's Leah Thompson because first off, she's hot. I wouldn't want to see her as a Muppet. But second off, the fact that everybody is trying to bang, her and she's not a Muppet would make sense then.
Sure.
Because Muppets are just naturally attracted to human beings. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you on that, but so normally I would say yes, you are correct. This is
so
the
now you're
correct
saying the
answer.
other way around, where she's the only Muppet, and then everybody's
So-
trying to bang the Muppet.
Kind of. I, for the joke, love the idea of Marty's dad in 1955 not being a Muppet, because then he's peeping Tom on a Muppet, and that just adds to the level of like creepiness that he is.
I mean, I was gonna say Biff not being a Muppet because then he just gets wrecked by Muppets all day long.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah, that would be good.
Especially when Crispin Glover punches him and like
right? Or
That
even
would be-
Marty like outsmarts him constantly. So,
Yeah, I agree. Although there is a part of me that does kind of want to watch Marty interact with a Muppet Doc the whole time. So like Marty's the human, and he has to just take Muppet Doc seriously, and we're all supposed to take Muppet Doc seriously.
well,
Which is
and then he
just
gets chased by Muppet Libyans.
Yeah, and
yes,
like
yes.
literally, it just looks like anytime Kermit the Frog like freaks out and like flails his arms, that's just Doc the entire time.
I like that actually. Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, that brings us to our score. So, Chuck, out of 10.
Okay. Out of 10. Is this a Back to the Future movie? Yeah, it is. I love the idea that this was an original concept,
Mhm.
that this wasn't actually based off a comic book or a book or anything like that. Like this was like was written to be a movie. And I think that is pretty fucking cool. It is a timeless movie. Even the CG doesn't hold up. It still is fun. I'm always baffled that people have never seen this movie. Like my students have no fucking idea what this movie
Really?
is.
Wow.
Yeah, they
well,
have no
I mean,
idea.
I know they're like what 20 something.
Yeah, they were born in like 2004.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they had no interest when the like reboot, when they re-released it.
Oh, the 30th anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for me, like this movie on multiple levels is a part of my childhood. I'll go ahead and first name, last name. Of course, you may remember me bringing this up in the past, Joey. Michael Cole, fuck you. You used to make me sit as kids when we would hang out, and you'd make me watch this movie. Reverse crisscross applesauce, where you cross your legs and then sit on them, like samurai style, as he would call it.
Story.
And you'd make us sit there for the 2 hours or hour and 40 minutes that this movie was. And then for your idea of playing was us reenacting the scenes from the movie, and you would yell at me if I didn't do it right.
So bad.
And I did have a little bit of trauma, a little bit of triggerness when I was watching this. Because he always hated how I would throw a punch. I don't remember why. But he always wanted to play Biff, which is very questionable. Anyway, fuck you, Michael Cole.
Should tell you something.
Yeah. There's a reason why we're not friends anymore. That being said, this is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, and I kind of forgot about it. And I'm excited to watch. I actually dislike the third one the most.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that a lot. So you're not in the group by yourself. I've heard that a lot. So
it's not my favorite. That being said, where does this fall for me? I'm gonna say 9.29. It's up there.
Damn.
I will happily rewatch this movie. I would put this on. I wouldn't make fun of it, although I would make fun of it because we would definitely be making like fucking your mom jokes the whole time.
But it's not like
a
bad make fun. Like this is a fun make fun. Like it's
yeah.
You're still watching it. Like I'm taking notes, but I was having a hard time taking notes. Like I'm watching the movie and I'm enjoying myself, and I had to stop to take notes so that I don't miss something, because even though I've seen this movie hundreds of times, I still want to enjoy the movie, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
So
It's great. It's fantastic.
anyway. Ron, what you got?
Well, again, like I still enjoyed the movie. Like it's still a good movie, but I did not like it as much as I used to. And I don't know if that's because I was looking at it more cynically since we were watching it for the show. But like there are a lot of like weird things. But again, like Chuck said, you know, this is an original movie. It's an original idea. Well, it's not really original idea, time travel, but like
Original
the
for its time.
concept of the concept of, you know, like going back in time and fucking up your own personal timeline is great. And I still enjoyed the movie. It was still fun to watch. I'm interested to see how the other ones are going to go. But I gave this one a 7.85.
Interesting.
Because I would watch this again. Like, I will watch this again. Like, it's inevitable, you know. It keeps coming back. What about you, Joey?
I love this movie. This movie is, like I said, I watched this a lot recently, within the last 5 years. It is it's a fun movie. It is my youngest brother's favorite movie. He loves this trilogy.
No way.
I mean, hell, he bought the DeLorean.
I was being facetious.
I know you were. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine him having a DeLorean? He'd never seen this movie. He just loved that
I think
car,
that would
man.
actually make it better.
Man, yeah.
You want to Back to the Future? Why'd you keep asking me that?
Yeah, what's Back to the Future? I don't know what that movie is. No, but no, this is a great movie. Yes, there are problems with it, but one thing I've always said, I love time travel movies, but one thing I've always said, if you make your own rules in a time travel movie and you stick to those rules, you're gonna have my attention. And this is something they do. They make their own rules, they stick to it. At least I think they do. You know, and they don't. I don't think they skew from them very much. And if they do, I don't see it. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, little with you know, a microscope this time around, and not just hey, this is a fun movie, I'm gonna put it on. Maybe I'm gonna see something differently. But no, I love this movie. Always have, always will. I've got, you know, I bought the trilogy, I think last year, so I've got, you know, the Blu-ray over there on my shelf. But I'm gonna give this. I'm up there with Chuck. I'm giving this a 9.13. This movie is a classic for me. It's up there on my list, which will give us a combined score of 8.76, which makes it our new number 2 out of 154 movies. Yeah, number 1 is still Trick or Treat at a 9.16.
Mm-hmm.
And Terminator 2 is now at number 3 at a 8.74. So you literally just squeaked out Terminator 2.
Trick or Treat.
Yep.
Back to the Future. Terminator.
Yes.
2.
Terminator 2.
What's the fourth one?
Tank Girl.
Nice. Ooh,
Okay,
I have a renewed love for Tank Girl after last night.
I do.
Shout out to Sorsha Lace from the Fort Wayne Bombshells, because damn. But anyways,
I'll talk to you off mic. I got something to say about that.
Number 5?
Number 5 is Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, so real quick, the top 5 movies are not superhero movies. They're barely comic book movies, except for Tank Girl.
I mean, Trick or Treat's a comic book movie. Well, kind of.
It was a
Yeah.
movie before it was a comic.
Yeah. You're right.
And Terminator, same thing. It was a movie first, and then they threw.
Yeah.
So all we're realizing is that super specifically, even more. So I'll give you like,
Well,
okay,
Okay. So the next. Okay, hold on. So the
superhero
next.
comic book movies fucking suck, bro.
The next. Okay. So the next. Our next 5 are Superman, the Phantom, Star Wars Episode 4, Dick Tracy, and then Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. So 4. The next 4 out of 10 are comic book movies.
But okay, comic book movies. Okay, is it Dick Tracy? Give you that. Superman was you and just you and Ron.
You and Ron, me and Ron. Yep.
I guarantee you those were nostalgic scores, 100%.
First Superman movie was good.
With the Christopher Reeve one?
Yeah.
It's
Christopher Reeves.
Well, he was Christopher Reed actually now.
Reeve.
Yeah.
Reeve. Anyway.
Like Dick Tracy, barely a comic book.
Comic strip.
A comic strip. I'm just saying. So like Superman's the only main guy in that list. Batman Beyond, B-list version, a B-list version.
Oh, hold on now.
B-sides, a B-sides version. I'll say
I'll
not
take
B-list.
B-side. I'll take
B-sides
B-side.
versions of Batman. Objectively, the better Batman. I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But not mainstream Batman. Dick Tracy, not a mainstream character.
And
He was
Phantom,
back in 1937.
I
I actually don't remember when Dick Tracy came out.
The
50s.
70s, because that 70s show does make a joke about Dick Tracy.
Well, he came out in the 50s, and he just was periodically coming out. Yeah, consistent up until like the 90s and 2000s. Phantom in the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, but they were not mainstream when the movie.
They were not. You are correct. So
I find it super interesting, and I wonder what the psychological level of it is like. Is it because they aren't mainstream we enjoy them more? Are we contrarian in that way? Do they objectively just make better movies? Because we don't have all of this backlogged information of better stories that we know, because more often than not, superhero movies are just fucking origin stories repeated over and over and over again. Well, they have to reintroduce the character, and then a series doesn't make it past 3 movies.
But I could
also
I could argue.
I'd also argue arguably they don't make it past 3 movies also because by that time they've switched ownership of the property rights,
yeah, that's
or
true too.
they had to renew it because the actor aged out, or they had 14 different actors playing the same role over the course of 8 movies with 6 origin stories.
Like, I know when we get to the MCU, I know there's gonna be some movies in there that we're all gonna be like, man, this movie is like amazing. Like I can see us saying Infinity War
except for Chuck. I
think Infinity War is gonna be high up on the list.
I have not watched that since I saw it in theaters, so it'll be interesting to go back with.
I do have a favorite MCU movie, and I might be the only person that it is, and that's because it's pretty funny, but also a well done storyline.
Okay.
It's gonna be Thor: Dark Order or whatever.
Thor: Dark World was terrible. I only made it through that one time all the way through, and it took me a lot to get through it.
Okay. There are definitely some bad ones in the MCU. I think there's some good ones. Some of the Guardians movies are good. Like I said, I think Infinity War is good. Endgame, I've got some issues with that. We'll get to that when we get to it. I know, but we're also far away from all of those though. So we're not gonna get to them anytime soon.
It is also just interesting to see, because so you list Guardians of the Galaxy, but that was good because of James Gunn. Like,
I
and
also love Captain America: Winter Soldier. I thought Winter Soldier was a great movie.
I think if I like that one. That's
That
when
was
they
probably
introduced Bucky.
They introduced Winter Soldier. They reintroduced him
Yeah,
because he was in the first Avenger. But yeah,
I don't think I like that one.
Okay, see,
I don't know.
Again,
I liked Civil War because Cap and Bucky beat up Iron Man Brooklyn style 2-on-1. That's always a joy to watch for me.
it's fun.
Beat up the orphan.
But I mean, we'll get to the MCU in a while. I mean, we're not going to hit that this year.
Right.
We may not.
Yeah,
hit it
we
next
got
year.
a bunch of great fucking movies.
Back onto an important
We do,
subject.
What's that?
Did you know Leah Thompson has nude scenes in movies?
I think I did know.
Yeah,
that.
I've definitely seen her boobs.
Yeah, they're really nice little perky boobs.
Yeah, good for her. She has inverted nipples. Am I thinking the right one?
No, they are not inverted.
No? Okay, I wasn't sure. Shout out to inverted nipples. Y'all keeping it real out here.
And
Yo,
on that note,
rock hard fake titty inverted nipples. That was prime. That was prime. 90s me discovering boobs. Let me tell you.
awesome.
I think it's under siege. I think it's under siege. Whereas the first time I saw rock hard fake titty inverted nipple.
Well, hey Chuck, if they want to find your rock hard inverted nipple, where can they find you on the internet?
Hey, you know where you can find me? Most importantly, you can find me at the end of each month, right here on this feed, getting franchised with Joe. Sometimes you're on. We bring Ron on too. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? At time of release of this video, we're gearing up to listen to Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead has just come out.
Just came out. Wow, what an unbelievable controversial hot take we had in that one, Joe. And gearing up, we're gonna watch Pet Sematary.
I think Pet Sematary was next, I believe.
Pet Sematary is next. Which, by the way, we watched. I think we mentioned it in that, but we watched Fist of the North Star and Pet Sematary that week.
I think so.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that because you were like, "I want to shoot myself in the face."
Yeah, this is like that was like the worst weekend of movies because I also was in like production hell, having to work like 16-hour days on the weekend. Yeah, wow. Oh my God, the trauma that I will reopen listening to those when they come out. But hey, guess what? Pet Cemeteries. Controversial take. We barely liked both of them, but we did like one better than the other. So you'll find out which one. That being said, you can find me on the internet. Kicked Out of the Hood, No Ian Kicked over on Instagram. Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Ian Kicked. Hey, I'm gearing up this summer. I'm getting a bunch of hobbying done. I am full ball sack into Mordheim now. So get prepared for that. I got a bunch of other fun games that I'm going to be pushing. And more importantly, hey, give me a follow over on Letterboxd. I am Chuck of Evil over there. I don't have any friends except for like one person.
What the hell is Letterboxd?
Letterboxd is like your movie reviewing stuff. And I just write, if you like the stupid shit I say on here, I also write it on there. So I'm reviewing all the movies I watch. I just watched, at time of recording, Joey, you'll love it. I watched Heart Eyes on Netflix.
Oh, I love that movie.
That was very good. I love a good rom-com, so the fact that it was a horror rom-com was very good. I actually very much enjoyed it.
Did not expect.
And you said Chuck of Evil?
I believe it's Chuck of Evil, yes.
Yeah, Hard Eyes was really good. I went and saw that one in theaters. I like that one.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It reminded me of it was the same level of fun as like Happy Death Day.
I loved Happy Death Day.
Yeah. I like Goofy
another
horror.
Happy Death Day, another time travel-ish movie that it's more of a Groundhog's Day movie, but Happy Death Day was great. Anyway.
Ronald, where can they find you, your art, and anything else you'd like to show them?
So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky at Good at This Game. You can find my art on TikTok or on Instagram, at Good Art This Game. You can also find it on t-shirts on Redbubble and TeePublic. And you can find me right here on this show and like Chuck said, on their show. And right here in my living room. Joey?
You guys can find the show on.
Oh no, Joey,
Oh.
we want to know where to find you.
Nope. You can find the show on the socials. Comic Book Rundown. You can email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice. We're also on YouTube, Comic Book Rundown. You
Watch
can
us so you can see us fucking studly dudes on like cameras.
Yeah, you want this hot knee action? Because I got it, baby.
Chuck's
Right
got
there.
the fucking hoochie daddy shorts on today.
I got my, they are so up my asshole right now. It's unreal. I've been giving myself a wedgie for the past hour and 25 minutes because I sat down and my
Chuck calls that
ass,
edging.
yeah, I just ass skidded across the fucking seat right when we first started, and it's just been in my ass, entirely up into my rectum, Chris. It is awful. Let me tell you about it.
I like that's the only thing you've directed that in this whole show. That's perfect.
Oh god,
I feel like you guys have become closer friends.
Yeah,
listen. We don't talk ever, but he's like, I'd die for that, man. I think it's really important for him to know that.
I love it. Yeah, because we also have that shirt that what was the shirt? I can't remember saying like all networks are wrong except for Chris's network or whatever.
Oh, fuck all the networks
Yes.
except for Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. I even made the shirt up and I can't remember what the hell it said. But yeah, so shirts over at Redbubble and TeePublic, like Ron said. We've got some merch, like I said. What else do we have going on? Rate, review us, podcasting app of choice. We'll read on an upcoming episode.
Our next
song was done by the former father.
It's
Cam. Okay, fine. Whatever.
We're done.
See, I've just been trying to do Cam forever. You keep whatever.
Hey, look,
anyway,
he doesn't listen anymore. He doesn't care, so he's never listened.
I mean, I could stop saying his name, but I said I would because I'm a man of my word.
That's true. Joey will die on principle alone.
I actually,
regardless of how inconvenient it is for everybody.
There is yes, actually, I do that specifically. I do it at work all the time, and I know it annoys people, but okay, I'll stop anyway. I'm doing this easy. So our next movie is a nice little birthday present for Chuck. Chuck,
oh, what'd you pick?
It's a birthday present for you, buddy. We are watching Mandy from 2018.
Oh, yeah! Watching Mandy?
How do you spell that?
Mandy. It's M-A-N-D.
M-A-Y.
Why?
Why?
With
fun
Nick
fact,
Cage.
Nicolas Cage, who just does copious amounts of LSD in this movie. Look, this is a weird fucking movie. It is. You're gonna watch this and go, "Oh, this is a Chuck movie." This actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's trippy. It's violent. It's fucking awesome. Viewer discretion is advised. But I tried to get those fuckers over at Wreck My Podcast to watch this the entirety of their show, and they just kept ignoring me. I paid Patreon to suggest movies for them, and every month I would suggest Mandy, and they just wouldn't do it. But fucking Jordan every time was just like, oh, yeah. I've been really meaning to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. So if he hasn't watched it by the time that this episode comes out, and he doesn't watch it with us, damn you, Jordan, to hell. That's what I say.
Oh, are we gonna ask him if he wants to watch it with us?
Actually, we should, because I guarantee you he'll say no.
Hold on, I'm gonna pop over. Is our Star Wars chat still existing?
It should. While you do that, we're gonna say goodbye. So, bye, y'all.
Bye. See you later, Scooby Doo.